Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. Today I'm going to talk about how I learned English by myself without a teacher. Also, I want to mention that I am not a native English speaker, therefore I can do a lot of language grammar mistake, so please be understandable for it. Also, I would like to highlight it. I am still learning English language while I'm just saying on the title how I learned English. Therefore, you need to be understand and you need to be careful about it. Before going into the video, I want to do a disclaimer. I am not doing an experiment here, and I won't give you some instructions based on knowledge and based on proof and based on the scientific ideas. Therefore, all the things based on my own experience. Therefore, you need to be careful about it. So before just getting into the video, I have just some titles and I will give you my titles. Firstly, I will talk about my English background, and also I will say the reason why I started to care about the English and how we can learn English and start to read in English, and chapter 6 the pros, and chapter 7 cons, and chapter 8 conclusion. Before just coming into the video, I just give you instructions and I will talk about how I learned English by myself, and I will share my process with you. As I mentioned that before, I am still on the process, therefore I am not very fluent. I am also doing the grammar mistakes, which is normal because it's not your mother tongue way. Sometimes I have a tongue way twisters, which is normal. By the time I have learned English, I realized that you cannot learn any language and anything by 101%, because not someone who didn't burn into that language or that mainland, that country, probably they will do the mistakes. Therefore, you need to be think about it. So let's get into my first part. My English background. I will be honest to you guys, I didn't learn any skills of the English or any vocabulary till 16 or 17. The reason is I didn't have any teacher. I was living in Turkey. My family wasn't rich. Therefore, when I go to the school, teachers were so absent and they didn't come to the class. Every time they were getting pregnant by a man. All the English teachers are same. I don't know. I haven't got any idea about it. The second reason is I couldn't afford any of the English or English classes, because in Turkey the station is really high and English classes, English lessons are very expensive. Therefore, when I was at the high school years, I opened a YouTube channel and I started to listen the grammars, all the grammars, how I can learn the grammar, the E1, E1, E2, B1, B2, C1, C2. All these kind of levels were hard to me. I couldn't even understand any of a word of English. And time by time, I understand that English or another language is that different message from my main tongue way. Therefore, I should need to understand the message rather than just speaking on this language. I thought it won't help me, because English or another language, if you want to learn English or another language, it's a process, so you need to think about it. And when you try to be perfect, you won't. So you need to understand it. And also, if I want to mention my English background, when I was in high school, I started to learn English because I have interest into the Japanese language, and I realized that all the resources onto Japanese language were written in English language. My English language was sucks, so I couldn't even understand any of English meaning. So I just opened a Google Translate and I translated. For example, I just found a word which is the highlight. The highlight means just how can I say, underline, highlight. These are just in the Turkish meaning, parlatmak, altını çizmek. But I understand that it will be a waste of time, because if I don't learn the words in a sentence structure, probably I won't remember them and I won't use them. So I analyzed, I just bought a dictionary which is called Oxford Dictionary, and then I started to understand the words in English sentences, not in the Turkish sentences, because if I want to learn a language, if I use, for example, the basic Turkish words, probably I won't able to speak and I won't able to read, and the process will be tougher and tougher. So I discovered that if I want to, for example, I am learning, I'm just explore the new word. For example, let's think consequences. how I can learn the consequences. What does it mean? I didn't understand anything, but when I was reading a book from Spinoza, I realized that there was a word which is consequences, and this word written a lot in this Ethica. So what that does mean to me? So I opened a dictionary and I just opened image and I just look a lot of different kind of photos, image, and I understand that it also just have a similar meanings with the results. The result, the consequence. So I understood that I shouldn't even understand what does it mean, the consequence, but I could understand the results. So if I understand the result, I could understand that I'll give another meaning for the consequence. So I made it a lot. Before just getting into it, I also want to say it like, actually I learned English with the Japanese language, because when I was a child, I listened a lot of Japanese conversations, G-drama, G-pop, and I listened a lot of different kind of vloggers in Japanese language, but I also know that I couldn't even study Japanese at all. I studied grammar, A1, A2, Minami Hongo, etc., but I made a lot of listening. For example, in my background English, I will just pass this area. This section became so long, so therefore I will understand it in another chapter. The other chapter, the reason why I started to care about English. This chapter's topic is the next chapter, so let's get into the next chapter. In my high school years, I had a lot of interest about the Japanese culture, and I understood that if I want to go to Japan, I should take the JLPT-N2 test, but also understood that my English ability, language skills were still lacking. Therefore, I just started to make a decision about it. Should I learn English or Japanese? And I thought maybe I need to learn it both. So I started to learn both, but at the first the process was tougher for me. I bought a book and I just started to write the words English, Turkish. So I quit from it because it was so boring learning the grammar structures, learning the grammars. It was so boring to me, so I get bored of it. Therefore, I just quit to learn the grammar and I just opened the YouTube. Because I also wanted to go to Japan, so it was like that how I can understand the same word. So I started to learn English because my aim was going to Japan, but I understood that even if you speak perfect Japanese, even if you have a perfect English skills, it won't help you. Probably you won't reach what you want. Because if you don't have money, even you speak perfect English, even you speak perfect Japanese, even you speak another language, it won't help. It won't make you any helpful things, because it won't help you. So therefore, you need to understand that English language is a tool, not a key of success. So because I also wanted to go to Japan and eating money with the girl and just hanging out with the girls and drink some beers and drink some alcohols, but I realized that I'm living in Turkey, which is a third-class country, and it's just collapsing anymore. And while this country is collapsing, I'm just watching and still waiting for any of salvation for me, but it won't. Probably I'm just waiting a girl from Japan, England, or Germany who can give me a hand, who can just get married with me. I can get out from this country maybe. I'm not blaming the country. The reason is like I like my country, but the economy is really sucks here. If you just get out, if you get fired your job, probably you will die. That's the reason why I'm just saying the truth. So let's get into another part. So how we can learn English is a basic question, right? There are basic answers of it. You need to declare your level first. Whether you are a E1, E2, B1, B2, C1, C2. If you understand the basic conversation, probably you are E1. So you need to understand E1. If you are just intermediate level, for example, you can take the grammar, the English box, the B1, B2. Well, there are a lot of books, grammar books, but my idea is you need to understand your level first. You can take an exam, the Cambridge language exam. If you pass the A2, if you pass the B1, so you can understand. At the first E1, A2, you need to study basic grammars of the language. And after you study basic grammar of language, and there are a lot of resources on the internet, when you turn into the B1 level, you can open a YouTube and you can discover a bunch of different channels, and you can learn the English by your favorite YouTuber. And then you can open a Netflix and you can use the language reactor. while you are watching a movie, if you are using dubblator, probably you will suck. You will fucked up. The reason is you shouldn't use the doublate, and you should watch the movie or watch the YouTube videos in their original language. Because if you are trying to learn the English, probably you need to understand. You should use the English rather than just doing translate, because translate will make the process tougher, and the more you listen to English conversations, the more you will learn the English. It's like basic key of factor, basic key of success. So you are opening a YouTube channel or Netflix, which whatever you want, you can open. Use the English, watch the movie. Firstly, the Turkish translate or your main language translate, and then watch this movie again with the English and English language and English translate. And the third time, while you are watching a movie, watch it without any subtitles. So you just focus on the movie, focus on the topic. So it's a basic aim for it. If you do this action every day, you can also learn English. Also, you can keep a diary. When you are learning the B1 level, for example, you are B1 level, right? Just find a grammar book for the B1 and take all the sentences, all the words, learn it in the sentence structure. For example, you need to buy a book or novels at the B1 level and read them. Read them by voice and read them in not inner voice, the outside voice, and you can repeat the sentences again and again. Open a book, buy a book from a bookstore and in English language, and come your home and try to read all the sentences again and again and again. But you need to repeat it by voice. For example, you buy the book, which is the maybe Etika, and say, the gods gave us inspiration and the gods gave us will. So all the human beings are brothers, like that, etc. You shouldn't understand all the English page, and it is easy to understand one sentence or two sentences, maybe three sentences. In this book, if you can understand half of the page, probably you can continue to read this book. But if you cannot understand half of the page of a book, probably you need to just make your level decrease. And if you have bought a book which is the equivalent B1, so you need to buy a book which is level E2. And after the E2, you can pass B1 level book and B2, C1, C2. So you need to declare your language level, and then you need to understand your aim. Should we just pass in the level? I didn't learn English overnight. Yeah, it's a process. So maybe if you just get into the topic all. Yeah, I was just thinking about just doing conversation with you in a structure based text, but I will choose the topic say to you alone. So let's get into the topic. You can use the Tandem, Preply, or Italki, Preply, and other language exchange programs, or you can buy a speaker. But the main key is you need to speak by yourself, by the mirror, with the mirror. Like it is better. And whenever you learn an new English word, probably you need to use it, and you can make a story when you are learning an English language. You can use your new words in your history or in a story, and you can understand all the conversations. Maybe you can create your own stories. It's better. But also you need to declare your aim first. What will you do with this English language? If you want to be an academician, if you want to learn English language skills in an academic way, probably you need to read a lot of academic scientific papers. Do I believe in science? Sometimes. So if your aim being an academician, just getting into the academic universe, probably you need to read a lot of academic articles, because all the academic articles are written in English language. If you want to just commit your message to universe, probably you need to use English language, because English is a universal language for now. Maybe in the next 5 centuries or in the next century could be Chinese. Who can know it? Nobody knows. So use Tandem, or if your aim is just academic English, probably you need to just read the academic books. If you want to learn the English by a conversational level, probably it's better to use my method and just open a movie, just do a shadowing whenever the movie stars or the characters saying the things, saying the script and saying the story. You need to just depict yourself in the story, and you need to just make analyze, and you need to repeat their words. Just try to be like them. Maybe you can do the accent, it's up to you, but to me, you need to just repeat their actions, their sentences, and you will get the fluency. But you shouldn't forget about it, because English language have a lot of words, and when you try to learn every one of the words, probably you won't do that, because English is something like a omnipotent, not omnipotent, and limitless language, and there are a lot of words. So you need to understand the message rather than just by one words. So another thing, like your aim is so important. If you want a conversation level, it's okay. If you want to go to the university, you need to study IELTS and TOEFL. If you have money and you can go to, if you want to go to university, you need to study IELTS or TOEFL, because they are very important exams. However, if your language is just doing a basic conversation, so it's okay for this method. Just open a YouTube video and do the shadowing every time. But if your aim is just getting the being an academician, so you need to study in an exam-based method. For example, you need to open a YouTube channel and you say how I can study IELTS. You need to discover, explore these videos, not my video. My video is general. I mean, you need to study language by a conversation. If you want to study language by a conversation level, open a tandem, open a language tractor, open something like, make a lot of listening. For example, in a daily, you need to listen 8 hours English conversation in a day. Then you will analyze, you will understand your English speaking styles, and your English speaking abilities will be developed. I am giving you instruction. You need to study English at least 8 hours. What I just mentioned by studying 8 hours, the 8 hours I'm mentioning, I'm just saying this thing with 8 hours is making a lot of listening in this language, and then you will understand and you will get the fluency which you want. And that's the reason a basic level of that. Open a YouTube instructions, and you can just extract all the text from this movie or Netflix if you are using language tractor, and then you can understand. Just reading a lot of books. Do I just add a lot of different things more? Yeah, the aim is so important here, and also the essays. You can write an essay every day. After you read an essay, probably you can just check someone. You can try to find someone who can check your grammar mistakes. You can just check your grammar lackings or just speaking lackings. So you can just find an exact partner who is a native speaker online, and if you find a native speaker friends, you can get the confidence, and you can be a perfect while you are speaking English language. So you shouldn't try to be a perfect first, and you shouldn't pursue about being a success, and you shouldn't think yourself as a native speaker, because even the English native speakers cannot even study or cannot able to speak other language too, because they also know the English and they think like it's English is also okay for them. Therefore, you shouldn't compete or you shouldn't race with the other people. Don't check their English speaking skills, so don't check while they are speaking English like a native speakers, and you just ask yourself this question: how they can do that and how I cannot do that. So this question won't give you anything and you won't obtain anything. Therefore, you need to just patient with your method and do the things in a proper way and just give it time for it. Nothing is getting happening in a one day, because as a famous word which is saying like Roma wasn't built in a one day. Therefore, you need to just keep fries in your mind and keep continue to learn and keep continue to struggle and continue your way, because everyone has a unique perspective and you need to find your own way, brother. Thank you for watching until now. I hope I can just collect enough money to go to Japan. I want to go to Japan and I want to hang out with a lot of girls in the Roppongi or something like the nightclubs, but I don't have money, so I'm recording videos here. If I find a sponsor online, it will be better for me. And also I want to just, this girl blocked me, brother. I'm just calling, if you're just anyone knowing this girl, I will reach this girl one day, like, no, this girl. Can you see this girl? This girl has blocked me. I said I want to date with you, and she replied, you are too ugly. She's this one. I will find you one day One day we will meet. Even you blocked me. You blocked me. Amefutta. So, this girl. Don't worry, we will meet one day. And one day after we meet, you will date with me. Even you say opposite. I will find you, Amefutta. One day. You will understand what you're missing. Because I will find you. You're a traveler, right? You said me a traveler, but I will find you one day and we will date. Don't worry. I have self-confidence and I think myself as a successful person, so just wait the exact moment because I will find you. Because I want to date with you, okay? Okay. I don't know, guys, like it's time like that, so our time is finished like that. So as I mentioned that before, I want to go to Japan and hang out with a lot of girls, a bunch of girls there. Therefore, this video is about to finish here. Thank you for watching until now. Give a subscription, comment and a like below, and just give me a comment in the comment section and I will just try to record about your total video, maybe. So thank you for watching until now. See you on the next video. I just shared my process here. Even when I do the grammar mistakes, it's normal. There is no extraordinary station here because it's not my mother tongue way. So we are still learning and we are still at the process. Therefore, move on. Let's go on. Thank you.